I think it's high time for a resort tour. You want to come with? Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Joe, and today come with me as I take you around Disney's Pop Century Resort. We stayed there for 9 days this past December. The place is huge. Let's go take a look at it. So first, let's get started by actually driving into the resort. You've got a long drive into the resort from the main roads. You'll find this little checkpoint where you'll give your name and they'll pass that along to the cast members working at the front door. They'll be checking to see if your room is ready. We weren't even out of the car before someone let us know what the status of our room was, which happened to be that it was in the process of being cleaned as we got there. As we were on our way to check our bags so we could go to Disney Springs, I got a notification on my phone that said the room was ready, so we were able to bring everything directly there. Now, for those who don't know, Pop Century is a resort built on pop culture nostalgia, celebrating everything from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. But what about the rest of the century, you might ask? Or maybe you don't ask because you actually know this. Indulge me for a second. So Walt Disney World had planned a second phase of Pop Century where the first half of the century would be represented in resort hotels, and they actually started construction in 1999. Development of the resort was paused post 9/11 due to the lack of tourism that was happening around then, and construction was stalled for years as a result of this. Ultimately, they decided to scrap the other 50 years, they redeveloped the land, and it is now, as we know it, art of animation. But enough of that, let's get back to the tour. We'll get started in the classic hall in the lobby where you check in. There's some amazing decorations along the wall representing each decade. You need to take the time to go and check all of it out. And if you are a parent, don't feel too bad about which decorations you actually remember as a kid. As you can see, they were still decorated for the holidays when we were here. Nobody decks the halls like Disney. The classic hall is also where you're gonna find Pop Century's arcade for the kids. Next, we're gonna head into Everything Pop, the combination gift shop and quick service restaurant. The gift shop offers a pretty wide variety of merch, as well as some snacks and drinks and other items you might have forgotten at home, like sunscreen, shaving cream, and the like. During the holidays, you'll be able to get a ton of holiday specific merch like this stuff here. These Starbucks tumblers, Carrie got the green one by the way. There's ears, lounge flies, and spirit jerseys. Just any kind of holiday themed stuff you can think of. There's also a lot of resort specific merch as well, like these tumblers, this spirit jersey, this baseball tee, and so much more. Being a Skyliner resort, it also offers you a lot of Skyliner merch like these ornaments and just about anything else you can come up with. The other half of Everything Pop is their quick service restaurant, which acts more like a food court. Here you'll be able to get all sorts of bites while you're on resort. Each counter will offer some similar items, but have a few unique items as well, giving you a pretty wide variety of options. The refrigerated section has all kinds of snacks, desserts, and drinks for you to enjoy as well. Make sure you keep an eye out for this logo if you're on the dining plan, as anything with this logo counts as a snack credit for you. There's also a bakery case if you've got a little sweet tooth. And lastly, there are drink stations where you can get soda, coffee, tea, or any number of soft drinks. If you bought the resort refillable mug, you can access this as much as you want as long as the area is open. Now, Pop Century is undergoing refurbishment between now and 2026. The most notable of the work being done while we were there was in this area, but they were really good at keeping everything from being disruptive during our stay there. There were just some drop cloths blocking your view, and it didn't put a damper on our stay in any way. Next, let's go check out our room, which was in the 70s section, building 6 of the hotel on the 3rd floor. We went with the 70s building because it was close to the classic hall and Skyliner without counting as a preferred room. The rooms are beautiful and they're well designed. These tables are actually a Murphy bed, giving you 2 queen-size beds in the room if you need it, and just a nice place to sit and have your morning coffee if you don't. Okay, how do we rate the bed?
This feels very comfortable, but it could be because we've been up since 2:45 in the morning.
Low bar.
All right, we have coffee, decaf, and normal, and tea, green tea, and Earl Grey. Creamer, 0-calorie sweetener, and I think this is sugar.
I hope so. I hope it's not silica. Most hotel surfaces are dedicated spaces for my vlogging gear now, but this huge counter space serves as our own personal store with everything we need for the entire trip. Oh yeah, and Disney left a little message for me. Thanks, guys. Over here in the corner, you're gonna find a beverage cooler. It's not a refrigerator. It's not cold enough to refrigerate any foods that need to be refrigerated, so be mindful of that. And here's the Hey Disney, your own Alexa in the room for alarms, bedtime stories, and the best jokes. Just please ask him to tell you a joke. The bathroom's separated into a sink and vanity with some storage on one side and then the toilet and shower on the other side. Inside the shower, there's actually a clothesline that you can pull out to dry swimsuits or anything else when you have days by the pool. The area between the buildings is themed to the 70s with foosball in the middle, with a classic Mickey Mouse phone serving as one entrance icon with the legendary big wheel on the other side. In this area, you're also going to find a campfire where you can make s'mores in the evenings, as well as a game of Twister. But I'm going to tell you right now, the wheel doesn't tend to point up at either of the corners. It always just swings back down to the bottom bits, so might not be worth playing. Now let's have a look at the 60s buildings, as they're the preferred rooms in the resort since they're central to everything in the hotel. Like the other buildings, it's decorated with the toys of their time. Here you have the yo-yo on the stairs. I didn't mention earlier, but 8-track tapes were on the stairs for the 70s. The 60s is also the location of the poolside bar Petals, where you can get some fun drinks. Across from Petals is a kiosk where you can get henna or airbrush tattoos, hair wraps, and braids. And in the center is the largest pool of the resort. It is the centerpiece of the entire hotel. It's a flower-shaped pool. The icons at the entrance of each building are Play-Doh on one side and Mowgli and Baloo on the other. But most importantly, this is your pathway to the Skyliner. The biggest selling point of the resort, in my opinion, sits right in the middle of Hourglass Lake. If you want to know more about the Skyliner, you can check out my video about it in the top right corner. Next, we're going to check out the 50s, the only decade with 3 buildings at Pop Century. The stairways are decorated with bowling pins, and there's lots of great accents all along the building. The 2 buildings have statues of Lady on one side and the Tramp on the other, with a jukebox on the 3rd building overlooking the pool, and that pool is also shaped like a bowling pin. Now we head over to the other side where the 80s and 90s live. I know this map says that all 3 buildings are the 80s, but the one on the end is for the 90s. Here you're going to find Mr. Potato Head for some reason, despite being invented in the late 40s. The stairs are decorated with Rubik's Cubes, some solved, some not. Lots of great accents on this building as well, with the Walkman towering over one of the buildings and Roger Rabbit atop a barrel of turpentine over the other. The pool in the 90s building are themed to computers, with a big floppy disk overlooking the pool and making me feel old. The pool is square-shaped, meant to be a screen with the keyboard on the deck, and you've got an old-school laptop at the entrance to the 90s building. Laundry facilities are also at this end of the resort. For those who don't like to pack too many clothes for their trip, they can come here and wash up. If you want to explore a little or go for a jog, there's a walkway that surrounds Pop Century. You'll find all kinds of pop culture trivia as you make your way around. Different trivia is on both sides of the sign, so make sure to check that out. You'll get a great view of Hourglass Lake as you walk around on the one side of the resort, but they do have warnings not to go into the tall vegetation or near the water, as there might be some unfriendly creatures in there, so be smart and follow their advice. And lastly, we travel to the other transportation option at Pop Century, the bus stations. You'll have buses that take you to all the parks minus Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You'll also be able to access the water parks in Disney Springs from here. You'll find screens with up-to-date info on when you can expect the next buses, as well as how to get to certain places via transfer. And that's essentially it. When they finish the refurbishment, maybe I'll be able to make it down and we can do an updated version of this. But in the meantime, let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite part of the resort? Where would you like to stay, or where has your favorite place to stay on the resort been? While you're down in the comments, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I have new videos coming out. Make sure to follow us on all our socials. You can find all that down below. And while I've still got you here, why don't you check out one of these videos? YouTube's pretty sure you're gonna like them. Until next time, my friends, if you can't see the magic, make it.